I think he'll rule cricket for like the next 10, 15 years. It's
I think it's highly likely because when I see him, I look at not just the Mumbai connection, but he looks
Hey, welcome guys to another episode of The Yorker. This won't be a part of the regular series, but rather it'll be a new series where we cover all the latest upcoming talent from all the different ICC members. And we just wanted to start out with a bang. Uh, I want to ask Alfie. Alfie, do you know what a Mumbaiker is?
so yeah. Mumbaiker is just the demonym for someone who's from Mumbai, so it would be kind of like a Dhakaiya. Like someone from Dhaka is
Right,
a Dhakaiya, so someone from Mumbai would be a Mumbaiker.
right.
Yeah,
And they say these Mumbai produces some of the finest talents in India. Of course, Tendulkar
yeah,
being the big daddy of them all. But
yeah. But there's Vinod Kambli too. Yeah.
and they've got another one. And this man, he's a teenager now, right? Or is he
He's
20?
yeah, he's 19.
He's
He's
19.
still
He's a man.
19.
He's
Yeah, he's a man, but he's also a kid. He's a teenager. You can be a man and a kid at the same time.
right. And again, the fact that he's from Mumbai, I think it just hypes everything up because all eyes are on Mumbai, the financial capital of India.
Yeah.
And they're proud. There's like a whole underworld scene going on. It's a big city, basically. That's what I'm saying, guys. If you don't
Oh yeah, I mean it's one of the biggest cities in the world. Yeah,
in the
yeah.
world, right?
It's
In the world.
yeah, it's a massive city. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about Prithvi Shaw, the young
There you go.
batsman
There you go.
from India, the young opening batsman, and I think he's probably one of the most talented, if not the most talented batsman to hit the scene in a long time. Definitely since Virat Kohli, maybe even including Virat Kohli, because I think that one of the things people you have to remember about Kohli is that Kohli is supremely good, but he's a really really hard worker. His work ethic is second to none.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, and all of these guys, from Dravid, Tendulkar, Kohli, all of these guys are supremely hardworking players. In fact, anyone successful at the international level, it's not just talent. Talent is not just the only thing that can take you um, to to the types of success that we see from some of the all-time greats and legends of the game. So I think that Shaw is definitely going to be one of these. I mean, he's only played a couple of Test matches, but he has an average of 118 at a strike rate of 94, and that's pretty phenomenal stuff.
Yeah.
So
Right. And they're all hard workers, but Tendulkar had something extra special about him. The fluidity with all his strokes and the
yeah,
but and it's interesting because Tendulkar actually identified Shaw way back, and I read an article where Tendulkar was watching Shaw bat, and he said, "There we go, that's the future batsman. That guy's going to play for India one day." And
yeah,
it came out to be true. He did, and like you said, Alfie, he was brilliant. A debut 100 in this Test match, and he got injured recently in the series against Australia, or he would have played that also.
mhm,
Uh, I also read some reports, though it's India, big country, big a lot of media outlets. I don't know how true it is that he kind of fell out with the coaching staff because of some I don't know dressing locker room issues, arrogant or he's being too or something. But I don't know how true that is.
Prithvi Shaw.
Pretty sure, yeah. So we don't.
I don't know, but he's such a big talent. I don't know if
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how true that would be. I mean, he's a very young player. I don't know if he would. I mean, it's in theory, it's possible, but I don't know. It's could just be
Right.
some some bogus news from something.
That's what it is. I think that's what it is. But I still wanted to just touch on it briefly since it's out there.
Mhm.
And I think Shastri, the coach, and the captain Kohli, they've taken him under their wings, and they're working on him, and they're gonna make him a great batsman. They're not rushing. I think that was actually one of the reasons.
Hmm.
Because he rolled his ankle, it was supposed to be some kind of freak injury, but
Yeah,
they're not gonna ruin his career by forcing him to play. It's India; they have a lot of talent, but
yeah.
he'll play eventually, and I think he'll rule cricket for like the next 10, 15 years. It's
I think it's highly likely because when I see him, I look at not just the Mumbai connection, but he looks very similar to Tendulkar. They're both right-handed batsmen, both of short stature. They both kind of have that pudgy, slightly overweight build. Um, but his batting technique and just like you said, the fluidity of the strokes that he plays really resembles Sachin Tendulkar. I think more so than any other player since Sachin Tendulkar.
yeah, yes,
And so I think that, I think that one thing he might have even in addition to that is that kind of, Sachin was a methodical player. So he had the technique, he had everything, whereas Rahul Dravid would kind of just, they called him the wall that, because he basically he would stand there regardless of what you threw at him. Tendulkar maybe was not uh as impregnable in defense, but he was he was still a very, very solid, balanced player. And I think with Shaw, what you're getting is you're kind of getting a mold of Sehwag plus Tendulkar, and that could be that's like a two-headed monster.
yeah.
Um,
Alfie, it's that saying, where they say real recognizes real, like game recognizes game. It's just the
yeah,
fact that Tendulkar recognized them. I think that makes it more
yeah,
special. And I was
yeah,
reading this other article where the story went like this: that Tendulkar told Shah never to change his grip because he noticed he was holding the bat a certain way,
yeah,
and he said that please
yeah,
don't let any coach come and tell you what to do. You just play your game, and his game has taken him
yeah.
so far. I think we didn't mention, but he won the World Cup as well. That was in New Zealand, under
Mhm.
19 World Cup. So he won that.
Yeah, that was just last year. Yeah, under 19 World Cup. Yeah.
So he's getting all these credentials as he builds his career. And I don't know. I think the sky's the limit for a guy like this.
The sky's definitely the limit. I mean, with any Indian batting talent coming out, like they produce batting talent, I mean, it's insane. It's like they've got a factory for it. Um, the sky is always the limit. I mean, whoever thought when Virat Kohli came to the scene, whoever thought that he would challenge Tendulkar and legitimately challenge
Alfie, here's
Sachin for
but Alfie,
ODI bats,
yeah.
yeah,
But Alfie, here's the difference though. The spotlight wasn't on Kohli as much as it will be on Shah, like from the very beginning. Because Shah, you have to understand, he was such a goddamn talent that people started to recruit him at an earlier age. When he used to bat as 12, 11, they used to surround him in the park in Mumbai. And everyone knew that one day he would play for the national team. So it's like,
yeah,
and what I would say, Alfie, is like he's handled the pressure really well, which always doesn't go down. You see someone like someone else. They also have this other guy called Shubman Gill. I was looking
hmm
up his stats, and his stats are actually better than Shaw's in the first class and was the
oh,
the
but yeah.
it's
Yeah, he's another big one. I think they've basically got a big three of very young under 19 players that came from that 2018 under 19 batch, so to speak. So I think it's Prithvi Shaw, I think Shubman Gill, and Rishabh Pant, who's also made his Test debut and hit a century in England.
mm-hmm.
With the wicketkeeper batsman. He's also a supremely talented player.
Yeah.
A bit of maybe a bit overly aggressive at this stage, but that under 19 team for India had a lot of talent, and I know we're talking about Prithvi Shaw, but you have to remember also they had two really, really fast bowlers at under 19 level. In India is not really known for having that many fast bowlers, although we're seeing now their test team, their national team has quite a few very, very good fast bowlers from Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Shami, Ishant Sharma, etc. But that under 19 team, Prithvi Shaw was the captain. They had two really, really quick bowlers named Kamlesh Nagarkoti and Shivam Mavi. And both of them are bowling over, around 90 miles an hour, in excess of 90 miles an hour in the case of Nagarkoti. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, that's phenomenal for under 19 players, players that are 17, 18 years old to be bowling at that pace.
Yeah.
uh, is really phenomenal. It remains to be seen how good they will be translated to the international level. Because, for example, I don't know about Mavi, but Nagarkoti is only like 5'8", and most of the time that's too short to be a fast bowler. Um, but
Well,
you know,
yeah. No, that's a good collection of players they have. You're right.
yeah, they have a very good collection of players, a lot of talent coming through. Yeah.
But Shaw just separates himself from the pack simply because the spotlight was on him and he
Hmm.
lived up to it. Like Shuman Gill recently saw he got
Hmm.
two chances and he couldn't make them count in New Zealand. He got him
Hmm.
pretty badly. But regardless,
Uh,
Shaw, I don't know how he's gonna do, but he just seems invincible. Even though in the second test, I remember he was out on 70, but it was still a good 70. So
yeah, I mean, a 70 is a terrific score, regardless. All things considered. I mean, you have to remember he's still a very, very young player. He's still young enough, I think, to be playing under 19s.
right.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
I think that's a cue.
But
It's late night here, so this is the Yorker. We cover Bangladesh cricket, everything there is to talk about it. But as a part of our new series, we've decided we're gonna cover all the best talents, up in
yeah.
emerging talents from all the ICC members. So this one was about Prithvi Shaw. Any last words, Alfie, about this guy? Uh,
I just, one of the things that I think he will be very successful. He seems to have a very strong back foot game. I was watching; he can drive and cut and pull off the
He's
back foot
everything.
quite well.
This guy, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he might be he's the complete package like Sachin Tendulkar with the technique and you know, um, he's pretty much got it all. And honestly, I would say he looks even better than Virat Kohli. I mean, some people might think that's blasphemy to say, sacrilege, but I think that he looks better than Virat Kohli. Now, obviously, looks is not everything, but he just resembles Sachin Tendulkar in so many ways, and the way that his aggressive style of batting. It's like if you had Sachin and Sehwag and put them together, if you'd had Sachin and Lara and put them together, because Brian Lara wasn't necessarily that sound in terms of his technique, but he basically just I think there was a saying that he gives the bowler the first half hour or the first hour, and then the rest of the game or the rest of the day is his. Um,
I don't
so
know.
Lara would just get in there and he would basically just take the attack to every bowler, and and he was tremendously successful. I don't think anyone scored as many 150 plus scores as Brian Lara did in Test cricket. Maybe Bradman, but that's about it. But yeah,
Yeah,
so I mean, in conclusion, I really like Shah's technique. I think that his technique is going to be well suited to be batting in overseas conditions, England, South Africa, New Zealand, Australia. So I think that I mean I do agree with you that he's probably going to rule the world of cricket for the next 15 to 20 years.
yeah. I mean, let's wish him the best. I think the only thing that can probably come in his way would be the media itself, because so far he's handled it really well.
Yeah.
But with the Indian media and everything, and then I read the comments and articles, and then there are some people talking about why is Sachin only focused on Prithvi Shaw? Why isn't he giving the same advice, spending as much time with the other guys? The whole Mumbaiker thing again. But hey,
Mhm.
if you're an Indian fan, just accept it. Take him. I think
Yeah, yeah.
he's here to stay.
Yeah, he is. I think that the Indian players are pretty professional. And I don't think the media or the glitz and glamour. I mean, it's possible. I mean, I think that's probably what ruined Vinod Kambli, the one of the other
Yeah.
legends. He's basically around. He's a Sachin Tendulkar contemporary, and
Yes, you.
I think he just kind of let the limelight kind of get to him. So it looks like Prithvi Shaw has a nice head, humble head on his shoulders. So we'll see. I mean, he's definitely a very, very exciting talent. Anyone who's a cricket fan, yeah. I mean, and you don't have to be an India fan. I'm not an India fan. Uh, but I mean, you have to appreciate talent regardless of where it comes from. And I think that he it's an exciting player for world cricket, not just Indian cricket, but for world cricket. And I think he's gonna do a lot of. I think he's gonna win a lot of games for India in the coming years and decades.
Yep. So let's keep our eyes on him whenever he plays next. See
Yeah,
how he does. I think he'll do well.
absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks, Alfie, for joining. And
Yeah, thank you for taking the initiative, Roey. It was a good podcast and a good idea I think.
All right, well, good night to you guys, whoever's watching from me and Alfie over here.
All right. Good night. Peace out.